All right, so are you ready to dive into some serious wealth building strategies?
I am.
Because today we're cracking open David Bach's Automatic Millionaire.
Oh,
This book, it's like the holy grail for anyone who wants to build wealth, even if you think a Roth IRA is some kind of fancy coffee drink.
yeah. You know what? It really is.
Yeah,
And we're going deep.
that's right.
Yeah.
We're not just going to skim the surface.
Nope. We're going to break it all down.
We're talking those nitty-gritty details, the whys, the hows, and most importantly,
How you can actually use this stuff to level up your own financial life.
exactly.
That's
So one of the first things that really jumped out at me from the book was this idea of the latte factor.
Oh, the latte factor, classic.
I know, it sounds a little cliche, right?
It does.
Like give up your daily coffee and become a millionaire.
Right.
But it's so much more than that.
It is. It's not about deprivation. It's about awareness.
Exactly.
It's about shining a light on those tiny little expenses that we make every single day without even thinking about it.
Yeah, those sneaky little budget vampires.
Exactly. And they can add up to a shocking amount of money.
They really can. Bach actually uses this example of skipping a daily $3.50 latte and investing that money instead.
Oh, yeah. And you know what that turns into over a decade?
What?
Over $12,000?
That's wild. It's like finding a hidden treasure chest in your budget.
Exactly.
So let's talk about the first step to unlocking this whole automatic millionaire system.
Okay.
Bach is all about this principle of paying yourself first.
Yes.
What does that even mean?
So it's basically like giving yourself a preemptive raise.
Okay.
Before you pay your bills, before you buy anything else, you automatically route a chunk of your income directly into savings.
So before you even have a chance to spend it.
Exactly.
I like it. But
Yeah.
how much are we talking about here? Because I'm not sure everyone's ready to become like a super saver overnight.
Right. That's the cool part about the book. He actually provides formulas for different wealth levels.
Okay.
So let's say you want to reach that comfortable upper middle class. You should be aiming to save 10-15% of your gross income.
Okay, 10-15%.
Yeah. Now, if you're shooting for significant wealth, bump that up to 15-20%.
All right, feeling ambitious?
Exactly.
Yeah.
And if you're like really, really ambitious, 20% or more, can seriously supercharge your progress.
Okay, so we've got our savings target, but let's be real here. Sometimes sticking to a savings plan, even with the best intentions, it's tough.
It is.
Life gets in the way, right?
It does. What's the secret sauce?
Yeah. What's the secret weapon?
Automation, my friend.
Automation. Tell me more.
It's not just about convenience, although that is a huge perk.
Hmm.
It's about taking the decision making out of the equation.
I like that.
You're basically removing the temptation to spend that money because it's already gone.
It's like tricking yourself into saving.
Exactly.
I'm into it.
Okay.
So we're automating these savings, but where are we sending this money?
All right. So this is where the automatic millionaire system gets really strategic.
Okay, I'm listening.
It's all about pre-tax retirement accounts.
Like what?
401k, IRAs, that sort of thing.
Now I know what you're thinking. Retirement. That's like a million years away.
I know it seems far off. It does. But hear me out. These accounts are like financial time machines.
Time machines. Now you've got my attention.
Your money grows faster in these accounts because you're not being taxed until you withdraw it in retirement.
Oh, interesting. So it's like a tax sheltered haven for your savings?
Exactly.
Yeah.
And not only that, but you're often contributing pre-tax dollars, so you're actually reducing your taxable income now.
Wait, so I'm getting a tax break now and setting myself up for a comfier retirement later.
You got it.
Sign me up. But the world of retirement plans, it's kind of intimidating.
Can be.
I mean, what if I don't even know where to start or what kind of investments to choose?
Don't worry, Vic breaks it all down in plain English.
Okay, good.
He explains the different types of accounts, he explains investment options, and he even busts some of those common myths about retirement planning.
That's a relief. So I don't need to be like a financial whiz to figure this out.
Nope, not at all.
Awesome. Okay, so pre-tax retirement accounts. Got it. But there's one thing that keeps nagging at me.
Okay, what's that?
What about those unexpected expenses that pop up? You know, the car breaks down, you need a new roof, those life happens moments.
Oh, yeah. That's where the emergency basket comes in.
The emergency basket. Okay, I like the sound of that. Tell me more.
So this is basically a reserve fund to help cushion those financial blows.
Like a safety net for your money.
Exactly.
I love that analogy. But how much should we aim to have in this emergency basket? I mean, is it a few $100, a few thousand?
All right, so Bach recommends having at least 6 months of essential living expenses stashed away in this basket.
6 months. Okay, that's a good chunk of change.
It is. But remember, it's about peace of mind.
That's true.
Mhm.
Knowing you can handle those curveballs without totally derailing your finances, that's priceless.
Exactly.
6 months of expenses. All right, challenge accepted.
I like your attitude.
But where's the best place to park this emergency fund? Is it just a regular savings account?
Well, Bach actually dives into a few different options, and he stresses the importance of finding the right fit for your individual needs and risk tolerance.
Okay, so what are some of those options?
Well, he talks about money market accounts, which give you easy access to your cash and a decent return.
Right.
Then there are certificates of deposit, or CDs, which give you a guaranteed rate of return for a set period of time.
Okay, and what if I'm looking for something super safe?
Well, he even mentions government bonds for the ultra-conservative saver.
So many choices. But I like that we have options.
Exactly.
And the beauty of it is we can automate those deposits to our emergency basket too.
Of course.
Set it and forget it.
Exactly.
You got it.
All right, so we've got our savings automated. Our emergency basket is growing.
Looking good.
But there's a big question that I know a lot of people have, especially if they're just starting out.
Okay, what is it?
Is owning a home really part of the Automatic Millionaire plan?
That's where things get really interesting.
Because renting seems like the more flexible option these days.
It does seem that way, doesn't it?
It does. Especially if you're not planning to stay in one place for long, right? But Bach actually makes a really strong argument for home ownership as a wealth building strategy.
Okay, I'm intrigued. But isn't renting supposed to be the smarter choice?
Well, you see, Bach actually debunks a lot of those myths surrounding homeownership.
Okay.
And he presents a really compelling case for why it can actually be a fantastic investment.
All right, so spill the tea.
He lays out 8 specific reasons why owning a home can help you build wealth.
8 reasons.
Okay.
I'm all ears.
And it's not just about the financial benefits.
What else is there?
There's also the stability and pride of ownership, too.
Okay, I can see that. All right, so let's say I'm convinced. But what about that down payment? That's a huge hurdle for a lot of people, especially first-time buyers.
It is. It can be a major obstacle. But
Yeah.
Bach doesn't shy away from addressing that.
Okay, good.
He actually dives into various financing options, including loans that require as little as 3% down.
3%? Really?
Yep. And he points to resources like HUD and the FHA for assistance.
So it's not necessarily an impossible dream.
Not at all.
Okay, but how do you know how much house you can actually afford? Because getting in over your head, that's a recipe for disaster.
Right. And Bach is all about responsible home ownership.
Good.
He recommends sticking to the FHA guidelines, which suggests spending no more than 29% of your gross income on housing expenses.
29%.
Or if you don't have any other debt, you can bump that up to 41%.
Right, but it's important to remember those are just guidelines.
Absolutely.
You got to look at your individual situation.
Exactly. He really stresses looking at your net income, what you actually take home after taxes, to get a realistic picture of your affordability.
That makes a lot of sense. Okay, so we've crunched the numbers and we're ready to dive into the world of mortgages.
Okay.
But there are so many different types out there. Fixed rate, adjustable rate, even those flexible LIBOR loans. Where do you even begin?
Right. It can be a little overwhelming. But Bach breaks down those different mortgage options.
Very good.
He explains the pros and cons of each, and he even shares this little secret that can save homeowners a ton of money over the life of their loan.
The secret. You can't just drop a bombshell like that and not tell me.
All right, I'll spill the beans.
Please do.
It's called biweekly mortgage payment.
Bi-weekly. So instead of making one big payment each month.
Yep. You split it in half and pay every 2 weeks.
Okay. But how does that save me money?
Because there are 52 weeks in a year, right? By paying bi-weekly, you're actually making the equivalent of 13 monthly payments over the course of the year.
Oh, I see. So it's like sneaking in an extra payment without even really noticing.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And that extra payment can chip away at your principal balance faster, which leads to significant savings on interest and could potentially shave years off your mortgage.
So it's the power of consistency and automation working its magic again.
You got it.
I'm sensing a theme here. Bach is all about those little tweaks that over time can add up to big financial wins.
He is.
But what about those of us who are already carrying some debt? Can we still get on board with this automatic millionaire thing?
Absolutely. Bach acknowledges that debt is a common challenge.
Thank goodness.
He even dedicates a whole section of the book to what he calls Operation No More Debt.
Operation No More Debt. Sounds intense.
It is. It's a 7-step action plan to break free from the shackles of debt and create a more secure financial future.
Okay, I'm definitely interested to hear more about this operation, No More Debt. Let's break it down.
All right, let's do it.
What's the first step in this debt-busting plan?
Well, step 1 might sound a little drastic.
Oh no, what is it?
Cut up those credit cards.
Whoa, hold on, really?
It's about breaking those bad spending habits at the source.
Okay, I see where you're going with this. Out of sight, out of mind, right?
Exactly.
But what about the debt I've already racked up? Those balances aren't going to disappear just because I've stopped swiping.
You're absolutely right. And that brings us to step 2, renegotiating interest rates.
Wait, seriously? You can do that?
Oh, yeah. A lot of people don't realize this, but you actually have some power to negotiate with those credit card companies.
I had no idea. I always thought those interest rates were like set in stone.
Nope. Not necessarily.
So how do I do it?
Well, Bach recommends doing a little research first.
Okay,
See what kind of interest rates other companies are offering for similar cards.
got it.
Then call your current credit card company and politely but firmly request a lower rate.
Okay, be polite but firm. I like it.
And don't be afraid to mention those competitor offers if they're not budging.
Oh, I like that little bit of leverage.
Exactly.
Okay, so what if I've got multiple cards with high interest rates? Juggling all those payments. It's a nightmare.
I hear you. And that's where step 3 comes in consolidating your debt.
Consolidating.
Basically, you find a card with a lower interest rate and transfer your balances onto that single card.
Oh, so it's all about streamlining.
Exactly. It simplifies things and can often result in an even lower overall interest rate.
Less is more.
You got it.
Okay,
Glad.
so we've cut up the cards, we've renegotiated our rates, we've consolidated our debt. What's next?
All right, so now Bach introduces this really clever system for prioritizing which debts to pay off first.
Okay, this sounds
He
intriguing.
calls it DOLP,
DOLP, what's that stand for?
done on last payment.
Done on last payment.
Yeah, basically you calculate a DOLP number for each debt by dividing the outstanding balance by the minimum monthly payment.
Okay,
The debt with the lowest DOLP number. That one gets tackled first, then you move on to the next one.
so it's a strategic approach to tackling those balances.
Exactly.
I like it. It's like a snowball effect.
It is. You start small, gain traction, and then you can really accelerate your progress.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Okay, and while we're working on knocking out that debt, what about our credit score?
Oh, yeah. That's a big one.
That-
Bach is all about knowing your credit score.
Yeah, it's like your financial report card.
It is.
Hmm.
He recommends using myfico.com to check your score and understand what factors are influencing it.
So we can see where we stand and what we need to work on.
Exactly.
Okay, so how can we boost our credit score? And how can we keep those pesky credit card offers out of our mailbox?
Oh, those are the worst.
Mm.
Bach actually has a few tips for that.
Okay, lay 'em on me.
He recommends contacting the National Opt-out Center to stop those pre-approved credit card offers.
Oh, good idea.
You can even ask credit card companies to remove you from their call lists.
Yes, please.
It's all about taking control of your financial information and limiting those temptations.
like building a financial fortress.
Exactly.
I love it. Okay, so we've talked about a lot of practical strategies for managing debt,
Right.
but debt can be a huge source of stress and anxiety.
It can be a heavy burden.
It really can. Does Bach offer any advice for dealing with the emotional side of things?
He does. He
Oh.
actually encourages seeking out professional guidance if you're feeling overwhelmed.
Okay.
He recommends finding a reputable nonprofit credit counseling organization that can provide support and guidance.
That's a good idea. Sometimes you need a little extra help.
Right. And of course, one of Bach's favorite tools comes into play here too.
You're going to say automation, aren't you?
I am automation to the rescue.
Every time.
By automating your debt payments, you ensure that you're never late and avoid those unnecessary late fees.
One less thing to worry about. Okay, so we've tackled the latte factor. We've talked about automating our savings. We've built our emergency basket. We've explored the world of homeownership. We've conquered debt.
We're on a roll.
We are. But there's another big expense that I want to talk about, cars,
Oh, yes.
because those can really eat into our budgets.
Yeah?
Does Bach offer any advice on navigating the world of car buying and leasing?
He does. And he's got some pretty strong opinions on this.
Oh, I'm intrigued. Tell me more.
He's a big advocate for buying used cars, particularly those that are at least 2 years old.
That makes sense. New cars depreciate so quickly.
They do. It's like throwing money away.
It really is. Okay. But what about leasing? Because sometimes those lease deals, they sound really
I
tempting.
know they do. But Bach cautions that leasing really only makes financial sense in very specific situations.
Like what?
Like if you're in business and can write off the lease expenses, or if you drive less than 10,000 miles per year.
Okay, so it's really important to understand the financial implications before you sign on the dotted line. Okay, so we've covered a lot of ground here. But there's one aspect of the Automatic Millionaire system that I find particularly interesting.
Okay, what's that?
It's the idea of aligning your finances with your values.
Yes, Bach really emphasizes the importance of giving back. And he has a unique perspective on how it ties into building wealth.
Okay, I'm curious. Tell me more.
He introduces this concept called automatic tithing.
Automatic tithing. Okay, so what is tithing and how does it connect to becoming an automatic millionaire?
So tithing is the practice of donating a portion of your income to a cause you believe in.
Okay.
And Bach suggests making it automatic by setting up recurring donations.
So it's like incorporating giving back into your financial plan from the start.
Exactly.
But I have to admit, the idea that giving away money can actually lead to greater financial abundance. It seems a little counterintuitive.
I know it sounds strange,
Yeah.
right? But Bach explains that when you tithe, you're shifting your mindset from scarcity to abundance.
Interesting.
You're acknowledging that there's enough to go around and that you're willing to share your blessings.
It's like you're sending a message to the universe that you trust in abundance.
Exactly.
Okay, but where do you even begin with tithing? How do you choose a cause? And how much do you give?
Well, Bach stresses the importance of choosing a charity that resonates with your values.
Okay.
Do your research. Find an organization that's making a real difference in an area you care about,
Got it.
and then commit to supporting them regularly, even if it's just a small amount at first.
It's about making giving back a conscious part of your financial life.
Exactly. And of course, we can automate those donations too.
Of course. We can automate everything.
We can. It's about putting your generosity on autopilot.
I love that. As we're talking about this, I'm realizing that the Automatic Millionaire system, it's so much more than just a set of financial strategies.
It is.
It's really a philosophy for living a richer, more fulfilling life.
You're absolutely right. Bach encourages us to approach our finances with intentionality, to automate those positive habits, and to make choices that align with our values.
It's about creating a life that's both financially secure and personally meaningful.
Exactly.
But let's be honest, even with the best laid plans, life can throw us some curveballs.
It always does.
It does. How does Bach address those forks in the road moments? Those unexpected challenges that can really shake things up.
That's a great question.
Yeah.
And it's something that Bach tackles head on. He encourages us to listen to our intuition, that inner voice that guides us towards our true path.
It's about trusting your gut and not letting fear hold you back.
Exactly. And he reminds us that failure is not the opposite of success. It's often a stepping stone on the path to success. It's about embracing those challenges as opportunities for growth and learning.
That's such a powerful reframe. It's about shifting our perspective and seeing setbacks as valuable lessons.
It is.
But how do we find the courage to take those risks? To step outside our comfort zones and pursue those dreams that might seem out of reach?
Bach has this powerful question that he encourages us to ask ourselves. What's the one thing you would do if you knew you couldn't fail?
Wow. That's a really thought-provoking question. It's about tapping into our potential and not letting those limiting beliefs hold us back.
Exactly.
But we don't have to do it alone, right? Does Bach talk about the importance of having a support system on this journey to financial success?
He does. He encourages us to seek out mentors, coaches, and communities that can support us along the way.
It's about surrounding ourselves with people who believe in us, who challenge us to grow, and who celebrate our successes.
Exactly.
And of course, he emphasizes the importance of continuous learning.
Absolutely. The world of personal finance is constantly changing, so it's crucial to stay informed and adapt to new trends and strategies.
It's about being a lifelong learner, always seeking out new knowledge and insights that can help us make smarter financial decisions.
You got it.
And Bach goes a step further. He encourages us to become financial educators ourselves,
Oh, really?
to share what we've learned with our friends, families, and communities.
I love that.
It's about paying it forward and empowering others with the knowledge and tools they need to achieve their own financial success.
That's awesome.
So as we wrap up this deep dive into the Automatic Millionaire system, what's the one key takeaway that you think listeners should walk away with?
I think the most important message is that financial success, it's not just about the numbers in your bank account.
Right.
It's about creating a life that aligns with your values, your goals, and your aspirations. It's about using your resources to make a positive impact on the world and leave a lasting legacy.
Yeah, it's about finding that balance between financial security and actually enjoying your life.
Exactly.
But you know what I think really sets this book apart? It's the focus on action.
Totally.
It's not just about reading it and feeling all inspired. It's about actually doing something.
Absolutely. Bach gives you concrete steps.
Yeah.
You can start taking action today.
Yeah, like right now.
Right now.
I love that. So what's his advice for those moments when we're feeling a little overwhelmed?
Okay, so he has this great analogy
Okay.
about eating an elephant.
Eating an elephant. I'm intrigued.
How do you eat an elephant?
How
One bite at a time. And it's the same with your finances. You don't have to do everything at once.
Right. Break it down into smaller chunks.
Exactly. Focus on those small, consistent steps and celebrate those small wins.
That's so important because sometimes it can feel like you're never going to get there.
It can. It's a marathon, not a sprint.
It really is.
Yeah.
But even with the best intentions, life happens, we get busy, we get distracted, and sometimes those good financial habits, they kind of fall by the wayside.
They do.
So how do we stay on track? How do we keep that momentum going?
Automation, my friend. Automation.
Of course. Automation saves the day again.
It really does. By automating your savings, your investments, your bill payments, it's like you're setting up a system that works for you, even when you're not actively managing it.
It's like having a little financial robot working 24/7.
Exactly.
Okay, but what about those times when we need more than just automation?
Okay.
What if we have like a really complex financial question, or we just need some expert guidance?
Well, Bach recommends building a financial team.
Okay, a team.
Yeah. Trusted professionals who can offer support and advice tailored to your specific situation.
So like, who are we talking about here?
He talks about finding a good financial advisor, an accountant, even an attorney who specializes in estate planning.
Okay, so it's like assembling your financial Avengers.
Exactly.
I love it. But what about those of us who are just starting out? We might not have the resources to hire a whole team of financial experts.
I hear you. And Bach addresses that too. He provides a ton of resources for those who are DIYing their finances.
Okay, that's good to know.
He recommends books, websites, online tools, all sorts of stuff.
So we can empower ourselves to take control.
Exactly. It's about becoming financially literate.
And taking ownership of your financial well-being.
Absolutely.
And you know what? I love how he emphasizes that learning should never stop.
Oh, yeah.
The world of finance is constantly changing, so we got to stay curious and adaptable.
We do. We have to be lifelong learners.
Exactly. As we're talking about all this, I'm struck by how Bach manages to weave together the practical and the aspirational.
He does.
He gives us concrete steps to take. But he also reminds us that financial success, it's not just about money.
Right. It's about aligning your life with your values.
Exactly. And using your resources to make a difference in the world.
It is. It's about leaving a legacy.
Well, we've reached the end of our deep dive into Automatic Millionaire.
We have.
And I have to say, I'm feeling incredibly inspired.
Me too. It's been a really great journey.
It has. We've uncovered so many actionable insights.
We have.
And I think the biggest takeaway for me is that financial freedom, it's totally within reach for anyone who's willing to put in the work.
It is. It's not about luck. It's about making smart choices consistently.
And automating everything.
Of course, automating everything.
So what's the one thing you're going to automate today to start building your own automatic millionaire life?
Ooh, that's a good question. I have to think about that one.
We hope this deep dive has inspired you to take control of your financial future.
We do.
And remember, it's not about perfection. It's about progress. Even small steps can lead to big results over time.
That's right.
So keep learning, keep growing, and keep automating.
And most importantly, keep sharing your automatic millionaire success stories with us.
That's right. Connect with us on social media and let us know what you're working on.
We'd love to hear from you.
Thanks for joining us.
Yeah, thanks for being here.